Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, HOD of the PSP. Like, share, comment on the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow us on social media, and of course, you can listen to the podcast episodes, drop one earlier. You can listen to it on Spotify, Google Podcasts, or any other platform of your choosing. But that is not the topic that we're talking about. We're talking about the round of 16 from the African Cup of Nations that is starting on Sunday. It's going to be a big game, or on Saturday, sorry. 8 games in the menu, of course. Let's rattle them and go through them together before, previewing them very quickly. We have Guinea playing Gambia, Cameroon, the hosts playing Comoros, Ivory Coast playing Egypt, Morocco playing Malawi, Burkina Faso playing Gabon, Nigeria playing Tunisia, Senegal playing Cape Verde, and Mali playing Equatorial Guinea. Let's start, of course, from the start. I'm starting from the left bracket, as you can see it on the screen. We start by talking about Guinea versus Gambia. Of course, that comes in. Both sides qualified as seconds of their group. Guinea from Group B, thanks to 4 points from their win against Malawi, a draw against Senegal, and the loss against Zimbabwe in the final game. Gambia qualified with 6 points, or 7 points actually, with a draw against Mali and wins against Mauritania and Tunisia. Now, if they qualify third, for example, of this group, I would have said definitely the win is for Guinea. But also you have to factor in Navigator is not going to be available for this one, and you have Gambia qualifying with 7 points behind Mauritania, or behind Mali, sorry, in the top of their group. So it's definitely going to be a change of the factor in my opinion. Of course, changing definitely the direction of this game, not towards Gambia necessarily, but I think Gambia stands more of a chance now that they've proven that they can hang with any team. Of course, going strong in that group, conceding 1 goal through a penalty, having a solid defense and a solid structure about them. They feel really good at the moment. They're definitely a strong side. Guinea are not exactly a bad side, but maybe the last game shown exactly some frailties that Gambia could capitalize on in order to qualify for the next round. My pick for this one, I think, should be, should have been easy if Gambia were to qualify third, for example, and met them. But of course, a third of that group is Tunisia, going to meet Nigeria. We'll get to that in a bit. But Gambia, of course, qualifying second, only on goal difference behind Mali. That's, I think, gives them an advantage, maybe a chance of 50-50, 60-40 towards Guinea. If I'm truly honest, I feel more it's 50-50. I'm hedging my bets, and I'm going to make the wild prediction of the day here. I'm going to say that Gambia is going to qualify to the next round over Guinea, and the winner of that game is unfortunately going to meet Cameroon, because the next game is Cameroon versus Comoros, and I don't really see a world where Comoros could continue their miraculous run, because it's miraculous. I mean, they beat Ghana in the last game. They performed really well against Gabon, but they were disappointed. They stood against Morocco. They hung with Morocco, of course, but they lost 2-0. Should have been more, but their goalkeeper put in a brilliant performance. But definitely the winner of Gambia versus Guinea, which is, I predicted Gambia will meet Cameroon in the quarterfinals. So it's going to be Cameroon qualifying against Comoros. The game is in one day. They're top of their group. They're the hosts. All things are going for them. They're one of the best sides in the tournament. I think helped massively by the home advantage that they have. So it will be Cameroon versus Gambia as far as my quarterfinal, the first quarterfinal that I predict, is concerned. The second half of that left bracket is Ivory Coast, Egypt, Morocco, Malawi, and we could have one heck of a quarterfinal on our hands, all things considered. Ivory Coast versus Egypt. Now, seeing both sides in the group stages, seeing how Egypt performed in a group where there's Guinea-Bissau and Sudan and Nigeria. I mean, they weren't convincing in the first game against Nigeria, but after all, Nigeria are the best side in this tournament, so no surprises whatsoever. Ivory Coast, on the other hand, the first game almost misled some people to think that they are a bad side, but I think the second game, and particularly the game against Algeria, shown without a doubt that they are a far superior side than anything that any people would think of. They had some really good players. They play very fluent football, I think, considering the situation of some of the pitches in the tournament. They play really some fast action, high-octane football. They have some incredible talent. Of course, the attacking that they have is... People underrate the attack that Ivory Coast have at the moment. It's a brilliant trio, of course. They have Max Gradel, all the experience in the world, an African Cup of Nations winner himself. You have him with the likes of Holland, Nicolas Pepe, Wilfried Zaha coming off the pitch. You have the likes of Jordan Ikone. You have the likes of Wilfried Zaha, Maxwell Cornet, and I didn't even mention the players in the midfield, the likes of Frank Kessie and Seridia and all of that. all of these guys, but definitely Ivory Coast have a better team than most people think. As for Egypt, they weren't convincing exactly in the group stages, but I think maybe they will get an upward trajectory as the tournament goes on. They never been favourites in 2006 and won it, in 2008 and 2010 as well, but yet they won them all in a row, so who says they can't do something like that again? Albeit this tournament, this edition, and this version of Egypt doesn't exactly sound like an all-conquering side, but like the one back in the day. In my opinion, I edge towards Ivory Coast, but just because I saw them play better football than Egypt over the course of the group stage, I really believe that Ivory Coast is gonna, outdo Egypt, at least in terms of work rate and physical prowess, so it's only fair that I can give them the edge just about, I think 60-40 maybe, towards Ivory Coast, just because they feel as more of a stronger side than Egypt. Egypt have Mo Salah, but I don't think he's enough on his own to just qualify Egypt to the next round, so I think Ivory Coast will go through, and they will meet Morocco in the quarterfinal, because let's face it, I really fancy Morocco over Malawi. I know Malawi qualified with a good performance. I mean, they qualified, with 4 points in that group, definitely deserving of their qualification. The term best thirds probably applies to them over the course of this tournament. They definitely deserve to go through, but I think Morocco will outclass them. They are hitting on all cylinders. Yes, the game against Gabon in the finals of the group stages was not exactly good. Doesn't fill you with hope, probably, for a Moroccan fan, but definitely Morocco is a team that can go the distance and will beat Malawi. It will be hard, but I think they will beat Malawi, and I will have them against Ivory Coast in the second of the quarterfinals. So the left bracket is Gambia versus Cameroon, and Ivory Coast versus Morocco. Then we go to the bracket on the right side of the bracket, of course, and we go from the top to the bottom as usual. Burkina Faso, Gabon, and this is a tight one. This is where we proper say 50-50. I mean, Burkina Faso qualified second, Gabon qualified second of their groups. Burkina Faso, Gabon sound like a much professionally technical side than Burkina Faso, in my opinion, because Burkina Faso rely on pure strength, in my opinion, but Gabon have some good technical players around them. With the absence of Lemina and Aubameyang, of course, Aaron Pupenza stepped up and definitely made up for the absence of those two players. Jimmy Alavina as well, and they have a host of other players in the midfield that can really link the ball up well. So I think they're more technically efficient side against Burkina Faso, who rely on pure strength and, a couple of good players up front, of course, the likes of Sangare and also, Bertrand Traore, they rely on him up front. I don't think that will be enough. I think Gabon will edge Burkina Faso, maybe even extra time on penalties. It will be tough. It will be 50-50, but I think it will be Gabon going through to meet the winner from Nigeria versus Tunisia. I'm torn on this one. I don't want to give Tunisia any chance. Yes, I'm Tunisian, I know, it's the bias of speaking, but I'm not going to give them any chances, I think, that they don't deserve. Our chances against Nigeria, realistically speaking, all COVID cases considered, injuries considered, performances in the group stages considered, I think it's 9-10%. It's 90-10 really for Nigeria. Nigeria are too good at the moment. They feel like a cohesive machine, while Tunisia, with the changes, the COVID cases, the performances of the group stage as a whole was not that good, was not that convincing. But again, we have a bit of a legitimate excuse here. But against Nigeria, our record is not that good with them. I mentioned that in the podcast episode, and definitely we enter as the underdogs in this one. But I'm going to give ourselves a fighting chance to be a little bit sentimental. I'm going to give ourselves 30% of chance to beat Nigeria, although that won't happen. Unfortunately, I'm going to have predicted Nigeria because I'm a rational man, but my heart, of course, would want Tunisia to win and go through. Then, of course, the second half of that right bracket is Senegal versus Cape Verde and Mali versus Equatorial Guinea. I'm not going to mess around with these ones. Senegal is going to go through, but not because they're much stronger than Cape Verde, but just because they have more quality. Because if you saw them in the group stages, I think they were the worst of the sides that topped their groups. Because if you look at the sides that topped their groups, from top to bottom, you look at the likes of Nigeria topping their group convincingly, Ivory Coast convincingly topping their group as well, Morocco did the same, Mali doing the same, Cameroon, of course, because they're hosts, they definitely did that. Cape Verde, on the other hand, or Senegal, on the other hand, didn't convince at all in any of those three games. They won with a penalty against Zimbabwe and didn't score for 2 games against Malawi and against Guinea. And particularly against Malawi is more of a surprising one to think about it. They could have lost it because, Malawi got a penalty, but the referee decided to overturn it. but I think Senegal will just over edge Cape Verde with now the full squad returning after COVID cases and all of that. Just because they have a lot of quality than Cape Verde, they will go through. Mali will go through from that other round of 16 because I think they're much stern defensively in Equatorial Guinea. I think this will be a tight one. It's not going to be an open game between Mali and Equatorial Guinea, two of the sides that I think like to sit deep and rely on the strength of their midfields in particular. But I think Mali also would just about edge that one because I think they have more experienced and more high quality profile players as well than Equatorial Guinea. So to sum it up, my round of 16 predictions are as such: Gambia to go through to face Cameroon, Ivory Coast to face Morocco, Burkina Faso is going to lose against Gabon, Gabon is going to face Nigeria in the quarterfinals, and Senegal is going to face Mali. I'm going to leave my quarterfinal predictions until a later date, so for the moment, I'm going to leave you with these predictions for the round of 16. I mean, hopefully for Tunisia, the only one that I'm really wanted to go wrong is Tunisia going to the quarterfinal instead of Nigeria, but again, I'm a rational man, that's what I predicted. Until next time, I'm your host, the HOD of the PSP. Like, share, comment on the video, and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and of course follow us on social media, and the links are in the description, and goodbye to the next video.
Behind closed doors, I'm a fool for your love.